If you grew up in the 1950s, going to the movies didn't always mean sitting in a dark theater with strangers. Sometimes it meant parking your car under the stars and watching the world's biggest prees while the summer breeze rolled through your windows. The drive-in theater. It was more than entertainment. It was freedom. It was romance. It was a slice of American life that can't be replicated, no matter how hard anyone tries. You'd see the sign from the highway, a massive screen rising out of an empty field, like a billboard to the heavens. Starlight Drive-In, Moonlight Theater, Skyview, and underneath, now playing, 2 movies, sometimes 3, a double feature, maybe a cartoon before. All for the price of 1 ticket per car. Not per person, per car. That was the beauty of it. Pack as many people as you could into that Chevy or Ford or Plymouth. Kids in the back, teenagers squeezed in the middle, someone in the trunk if you were feeling adventurous and didn't mind the risk. The ticket booth sat at the entrance, a small building with a window where a teenager in a uniform took your money and handed you a ticket, $2, maybe $3 if it was a new release, and then you'd drive in, slowly, following the other cars, snaking through rows of speaker posts, looking for the perfect spot. Not too close to the screen you'd get a neck ache, not too far back you'd miss the details, somewhere in the middle, with a good view, away from the headlights of latecomers. You'd back in if you had a station wagon, or if you wanted to sit in the back with the tailgate down, or you'd pull in forward if you wanted to sit in the front seat like normal. And then you'd grab the speaker. It hung on a post next to your car, a heavy metal box with a long cord. You'd hook it over your half-open window, adjust the volume knob on the side, and suddenly the movie's sound was right there in your car. Tinny, a little fuzzy, but it worked. And it was yours, private, no one shushing you. No strangers munching popcorn too loud. The lot would fill up as the sun set. Hundreds of cars, thousands of people, all pointed at that giant screen, waiting. Kids would be running around, climbing on the playground equipment near the concession stand, playing tag between the cars, laughing and shouting while their parents set up blankets and lawn chairs. Teenagers would be cruising the rows, windows down, radios playing, checking out who else showed up, waving at friends, flirting with strangers. Couples would be sitting close in the front seat, his arm around her shoulders, her hand in his, stealing glances at each other instead of the screen. The concession stand was a world unto itself, a long building in the middle of the lot, glowing with neon and fluorescent lights. The smell hit you from 50 feet away. Popcorn, hot dogs, fried onions, candy. You'd walk across the gravel, the small stones crunching under your shoes, and join the line. Kids clutching quarters, parents holding dollar bills, everyone deciding what they could afford. The menu was simple: popcorn in paper bags, butter dripping through the bottom, hot dogs on squishy buns with too much mustard, candy bars, Milk Duds, Junior Mints, Reese's Cups, soda in paper cups with crushed ice, and if you were really hungry, a hamburger or a slice of pizza wrapped in wax paper and handed over the counter with a smile. You'd carry your haul back to the car, arms full, trying not to spill, and you'd settle in just as the sky finished fading from blue to black. The first thing on screen was always the ads. Local businesses. Visit Joe's Auto Repair on Main Street. Get your hair done at Betty's Beauty Salon. Shop at Miller's. 5 and dime. Then the previews. Coming soon. Next week. Next month. Explosions and romance and adventure, all compressed into 2-minute bursts of excitement. And then, finally, the cartoon. Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Woody Woodpecker, something short and funny and loud that made the kids laugh and the adults smile. And then the main feature. The screen would light up with the opening credits, and the whole lot would go quiet. Well, mostly quiet. Babies crying, kids asking questions, the occasional car horn as someone adjusted their parking. But once the movie really got going, once the story took hold, the world shrank to that screen. If it was a western, you'd watch cowboys ride across painted deserts, 6-shooters blazing, good guys in white hats and bad guys in black. If it was a monster movie, and oh, there were so many monster movies, you'd watch giant ants or aliens or radioactive creatures threatening humanity, and you'd thrill at every roar, every scream. If it was a romance, you'd watch beautiful people fall in love in Technicolor, and you'd feel your own heart swell. If it was a comedy, you'd laugh along with 1,000 other people, the sound rolling across the lot like a wave. It didn't matter if the movie was good or bad. That wasn't the point. The point was being there, under the stars, with your friends, your family, your girl. Between the two features, there'd be an intermission. The screen would show a countdown clock. Concession stand now open. 10 minutes until the next feature. And everyone would pour out of their cars again, stretching their legs, hitting the bathrooms, buying more popcorn. The playground would fill back up with kids burning off energy. The concession stand line would snake around the building, and teenagers would stand in clusters, talking, laughing, showing off. Because the drive-in wasn't just about the movie. It was about being seen, being social, being part of something. If you were on a date, the drive-in was perfect. You had privacy, your own little bubble. You could talk without anyone overhearing, hold hands without anyone noticing. And if the movie wasn't that interesting, and let's be honest, sometimes it wasn't, you could focus on each other. That's where the term parking came from. Not actually watching the movie, just kissing in the front seat while the film played on, ignored. Your windows would fog up. Someone in the next car might honk and laugh, but you didn't care because you were young and in love, or at least in like Anne. The drive-in gave you the space to figure it out. Families loved the drive-in for different reasons. You could bring the baby if they cried. It didn't matter. You were in your car. You could leave the engine running for heat or air conditioning. You could let the kids fall asleep in the back seat, wrapped in blankets. You didn't have to worry about dressing up. You could wear your pajamas if you wanted. Bring your own snacks to save money. It was affordable. It was convenient. It was wholesome. And it was one of the few places where everyone, teenagers, families, young couples, old couples, could all be in the same place, enjoying the same thing, in their own way. By the time the second feature ended, it was late, midnight, 1 in the morning. Cars would start up, headlights flicking on, and the slow exodus would begin. Hundreds of cars snaking out of the lot, back onto the highway, scattering in every direction. Kids would be asleep in the back. Parents would be tired, but happy. Teenagers would be making plans for next weekend, and everyone would carry the night with them. The smell of popcorn, the memory of the movie, the feeling of summer air and starlight. The drive-in was more than a theater. It was a ritual, a gathering place, a symbol of a particular kind of freedom that defined the 1950s. You could go where you wanted, do what you wanted, within reason, within the bounds of decency and community standards. Sure, but still, you had space, agency, choice. The drive-in said, you can have entertainment and independence. You can be part of a crowd and still be alone. You can dream under the stars and wake up the next morning in your own bed. Of course, like so many things from that era, the drive-in didn't last forever. Multiplexes came, with better sound, better picture, air conditioning, comfortable seats. Land became too valuable. It was worth more as a shopping mall or a housing development than as a field full of cars. Technology changed. VCRs, cable, streaming. Why go out when you can watch at home? One by one, the drive-ins closed. The screens came down. The speaker posts were torn out. The lots were paved over. Some became flea markets. Some became storage facilities. Some just became empty fields again, as if they'd never been there at all. But a few survived, here and there, scattered across the country. Stubborn holdouts that refused to die. And people still go. Not as many, but enough. Because once you've experienced a movie under the stars, once you've felt that particular magic, you never quite forget it. So if you went to a drive-in theater in the 1950s, you were part of something special. You were part of an era when entertainment was an event, when going to the movies meant getting in the car and going somewhere. Together you felt the summer heat, heard the crickets, saw the stars between reels, smelled the popcorn and the gasoline and the grass. You laughed with strangers, fell in love in the front seat, made memories that would last a lifetime, because yesterday never truly disappeared. It just pulled into the lot, hung a speaker on the window, and settled in to watch the show. And somewhere, on a warm summer night, if you listen closely, you can still hear it. The crunch of gravel, the tinny sound of a speaker, the laughter of kids running wild, the opening notes of a film about to begin. And for just a moment, you're there again, under the stars, with the world spread out on a screen the size of a building, and everything, absolutely everything, feels possible.